Savanala sama samsara dahane Dagda jiva kula udara karane Karuna varida kripa varidane Vande se guru charana kamala Nitya gita vadya Shri Hari kirtane Rena magana mahamata mane Romancha Kampashru Ayagora Preme Vande Se Guru Charana Kamala Sadarata Jini Vigraha Sevane Shringara Diyara Mandira Marjane Koena Niyukta Anugata Jane Vande Se Guru Charana Kamala Charvashushaleya Peyara Samoy Prasadana Krishna Rati Swadu Hoya Bhakta Swadane Nitra Tripta Roya Vande Se Guru Charana Kamala Shri Radha Madhava Namarupa Gune Ananta Madhuja Lila Swadane Lupta Chita Jini Hana Pratikshane Vande Se Guru Charana Kamala Prajayuva Dvandva Rati Samvardane Yukti Kore Saki Gane Vrindavane Ati Daksha Tahe Priyatama Gane Vande Se Guru Charana Kamala Sarvasastre Gaya Shri Harir Swarupa Bhaktagana Bhave Se Anurupa Kintu Jini Prabhu Amarupa Vande Se Guru Charana Kamala Chara Prasade Krishna Kripa Pai Chara Prasade Anyagati Nai Chisanja Kirtira Stavadanye Bhai Vande Se Guru Charana Kamala Guru Devastra Kamanayana Kori Brahma Murte Pare Ucha Kori Vrindavananata Shakshata Shri Hari Papai Se Vasu Siddhi Kale Vande Se Guru Charana Kamala 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 Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva. Page 23. Krishna Haiti Chaturmukha Hoya Krishna Seva Mukha Brahma Haiti Nara Deramati Narada Haiti Vyasa Mavako He Vyasa Dasa Puna Pragna Padmana Bhagati Nihari Madhava Vamshe Akshobhya Paramahamse Shisha Bodhi Angi Karakore Akshobhya Shishya Jaya Tirtaname Parijaya Taradasye Gyana Sindhu Tore Taha Hoite Daya Nidhi Taradasa Vidya Nidhi Rajendra Hoilo Taha Hoite Tahara Kinkora Jaya Dharmaname Parichaya Parampara Janobalamate Jaya Dharma Dasya Kyati Shri Purushottama Jati Tahoite Brahmanya Tirta Suri Vyasa Tirta Tara Dasa Lakshmi Pati Vyasa Dasa Tahoite Madhavendra Puri Madhavendra Puri Vada Shishya Vada Shishwar Nityananda Shri Advaita Vibhu Ishvara Puri Caitanya Kori Lena Shri Chaitanya Guru Gaura Mahaprabhu Mahaprabhu Shri Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nayanya Rupanuga Janera Jivana Vishwambara Priyankara Shri Swarupa Damodara Shri Goswami Rupa Sanatana Rupa Priya Mahajan Jiva Raghunathan Tara Priya Kavi Krishna Dasa Krishna Dasa Priya Varanara Tama Seva Pada Jaya Pada Vishwanata Asha Vishwanata Bhakta Sata Baladeva Jagannatha Tara Priya Shri Bhakti Vinoda Bhagavata Vada Shri Gaura Kishora Vada Yadamoda Shiva Shabana Vivada Sada Sevya Seva Para Tara Daite Dasanama Prabhupada Antaranga Shri Swarupa Ruka Nuka Shri Keshava Bhakati Pragyana Gaudiya Vedanta Veta Mayavada Tamahanta Gauravani Pracharacha Dhamma Prachadilo Gauravani Bhakati Vedanta Swami Gaurayilo Prabhupada Kama Kesha Priya Mahajan Vamanarayanahan Gauravani Tade Pranadana E Sabahari Jan Gaurangera Nija Jan Tadeu Sri Morakama Guru Parampara Guru Parampara Parampara Guru Parampara Guru Parampara Guru Parampara Parampara Guru Parampara. What's his name? What's his name? Gadadhar Dasaki. Haribo. Jai. Wow, Gaura Purnima, baby. That's fortunate. Happy birthday. Hmm? 36. Oh,
Vrindavanavasi jato Vaishnavera Pratana Vandana Kari Sabara Charana Nilachalavasi Jata Mahaprabhu Gana Bhumite Patiya Vandu Sabhara Charana Navadvipavasi Jata Mahaprabhu Bhakta Sabhara Charana Vanda Hayanuragta Mahaprabhu Bhakta Jata Gaura Dashasthite Sabhara Charana Vando Kariya Pranam Deshe Deshe Paishe Gaurangera Gana Udvabahu Kari Bando Sabara Charana Ayachena Ibena Prabhu Jata Dasa Hara Charana Bando Dante Kari Kasha Brahmana Tarita Shakti Hare Jane Jane Eveda Purane Guna Gaya Devasune Mahaprabhu Gana Sabapati Tapavana Tailabhe Mue Papilo Inusharana Vandana Karite Mue Kata Shakti Dhari Dhamma Buddhi Dashe Mue Dhamba Matra Kari Tathapi Mukera Bhagya Manera Ulasha Dasakshami Moadhame Karani Jadasa Sarva Vancha Siddhi Hayama Bhanta Chute Jagate Durlabha Haya Premadana Lute Manera Vasana Purna Achirate Haya Devaki Nandana Dasa Ela Bekaya Jaya Vaishnav Thakur Jaya Vaishnav Thakur Vaishnav Thakur Jaya Vaishnav Thakur
I get the mercy. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Rupa Sanatana Vata Raghunatha Shri Jiva Gopala Vata Rasa Raghuna Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Jivedoya Kori Satparsada Sriyadam Sahavatari Antyanta Dolabha Prema Garivaridhana Sikaya Saranagati Pakatera Dainyatmani Vedana Gopchit Vivarana Avasya Rakshive Krishna Vishwasava Bhakti Anukula Macha Kairasika Bhakti Pratikula Bhav Pajanangi Saranga Saranagati Oi Bejara Tara Partane Sune Shinanda Kumar Rupa sanatana pare Tante Chinakori Bhakati Vinoda Pare Dupara Kariya Kariya Bole Amito Adhama Shikae Shananagati Koroeda Jaya Sapa Sada Jaya Gaurari Sapa Sada Jaya Gaurari Jaya Sapa Sada Jaya Gaurari Sapa Sada Jaya Gaurari Gaura. I can do 162. Or does anyone want to do a Nitai Bhajan first? Yeah.
Unless, is it better if we do Nita and Gaur together? Should we do Nita and Gaur together? Should we do Nita and Gaur together? Okay. Page 80. Ooh. Prabhu, could I try using the harmonium? 87. Oh, thank you. Page 87. Ha ha kabe gauranitai. Epatita jane urukripa kori dekadi betu bibai. Ha kabe gauranitai. Tu kripa bade navadripa dame dekimbo vrajera shobha. Ananda Sukada Kunjamanohara Ananda Sukada Kunjamanohara Ananda Sukada Kunjamanohara Peribonayana Loba Dekimbo Vrajera Shobha Ananda Sukha Tahani Katate Shilalita Kunda Ratnavedi Kato Suata Chajarara Krishna Lina Bistaniya Virahena avirata, Virahena avirata. Saki gana jita lilana sahaya, nana seva sukapaya. Saki gana jata lilana sahaya, nana seva sukapaya. Hedasi tataya sakiragnate. Kareye iti utidaya, Kareye iti utidaya. Malatira mala gateya nibo, Tibota besaki kare. Radha Krishna Gale Saki Bari Be. Nachi abu ande bore, Nachi bo ananda bore. Ha ha kabe. Jaya Gaura Nitai, Jaya Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Jaya Gaura Nitai, Jaya Gaura Nitai, Jaya Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Jaya Gaura Nitai. Alas, alas, when will the two brothers Gaura Nitai bestow their abundant mercy upon this most fallen person and show themselves to him? By the power of their mercy, I shall see the transcendental splendor of Braj and Navadvip. I shall behold the enchanting Ananda Sukada Kunj with greedy eyes. Near to Ananda Sukada Kunj is Sri Lalita Kund, surrounded by hundreds and hundreds of bejeweled sitting places, where Sri Sri Radhakrishna expand their incessant revelry of their pastimes. All of their Sakis are there to assist in these pastimes, realizing the joy of rendering various kinds of seva. This maidservant is also present, running here and there to carry out her duties and the order of her Saki. Stringing a garland of malati flowers, I shall bring it and place it in the hands of my Saki. She will place it around the necks of Sri Sri Radhakrishna, and I shall dance filled with ecstasy.
Oh, okay, different books. Yeah. This is old Emon Sachiranandana Bine Emon Sachiranandana Bine Mono Sachiranandana Bine Mono Sachiranandana Bine Pranabolena Matiyadbhuta Shruta Hoita Kara Kana Pranabolena Matiyadbhuta Shruta Hoita Kara Kana Shri Krishna Name Swaguna Mahima Kevajanai Toara Name Vrindavi Piner Mahamadhurima Vrindavi Piner Mahamadhurima Praveshahaitakar Mana Sachiranandan Bine Mana Sachiranandana Bine Mana Sachiranandana Mon Sachiranandana Bine Kevajanai to Radhara Madhurya Rasa Jasa Chamatkara Aita Radhara Madhurya Rasa Jasa Chamatkara Tara Anubhav Satvika Vikar Gachara Chiloba Kara Raja Vilas Rasa Maharaj Prema Parakiya Tata Vilas Rasa Maharaj Gopira Mahima Vyabhicharisima Gopira Mahima Vyabhicharisima Karavagatit Heta Karavagatit Heta Emana Sachiranandana Bine Mona Sachiranandana Bine Mona Sachiranandana Dhanya Kali Dhanya Nitai Chaitanya Parama Karuna Kari Kali Dhanya Nitai Dhanya Kali gochar de prema bikina gochar prakasha jagata bhare taka hemon sachiranandana dine mon sachiranandana pine mon Uttama dham kichana bhachilo jachia dileka kola Uttama bhachilo kahe premanande mona gaurange manande kahe premanande mona gaurange manande ananta dhariya dola ananta dhariya emon sachiranandana bine sachiranandana bine mona sachiranandana Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Sachidanandan, Gaura Hari, Sachidanandan, Jaya Gaura Hari. Sachidanandan, Gaura Hari, Sachidanandan, Jaya Gaura Hari. Except for the son of Mother Sachi, who could have heard that extraordinarily wonderful thing called Prem? Who could have announced the glorious qualities of the holy name of Sri Krishna? Who could have entered into the supreme sweetness of the forest of Vrinda Devi? Who could have told us about the wondrous glories of the exceedingly sweet transcendental mellows of that Sri Radha experiences? Who could have understood what she experienced or her ecstatic bodily transformations? Who could have thoroughly understood the amorous pastimes of Braj, the great Ras Leela, the fundamental truths of paramour love, Padakya Prem, the glories of the gopis, and the limits of spiritual emotions? By bestowing the greatest mercy, Sri Nitai and Sri Chaitanya have made this blessed age of Kali supremely glorious. They have filled the world with revelations of Prem and its transformations, which are beyond the comprehension of even Lord Brahma. Without discriminating between the elevated and the fallen, they freely embrace everyone. Premananda says, "Hold that Gauranga within your heart." Srila Premananda Das Thakur ki jai. Shri Sachidananda Gaura Hiri ki jai. I know that one, but
Page 68. Jari Goranga Naito tabike hoito komene dorito de Gauranga naito tabike hoito komene dorito de Yari Gauranga naito tabika hoito kemone dorito de tabika hoito kemone dorito de Radha Mahima Prema Rasa Sema Jag Mahima Prema Rasa Sema Radha Mahima Prema Rasa Sema Prema Rasa Sema Jagate Janato Ke Jagate Janato Ke Madhura Vrinda Vipina Madhuri Vipina Madhuri Madhura Vrinda Vipina Madhuri Vrinda Vipina Madhuri Pravesha Chaturi Sara Chaturi Sara Baraja Juvati Bhavera Bhakati Raja Juvati Bhavera Bhakati Sakati Toito Kara Gao Puna Puna Gorange Raguna Puna Gorange Raguna Sarala Hoya Mana Mana E Bhava Sagare Mana Doyala Emona doila na deke ka jana Goranga bolia negenu galia Kemone dorinu de Nadariya Pasanadiya Nadariya Pasanadiya Nadariya Pasanadiya Pasanadiya Kemone gori yache Jari Goranga Nahito Tabika Hoito Kemone Dorito De Jari Goranga Nahito Tabika Hoito Kemone Dorito De Jaya Sachinandan Jaya Gaurari Sachinandan Jaya Gaurari Jaya Sachinandan Gaurari Ninandan Jaya Nitai Gaur Haribo 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 Nitai Gaur Haribo Nitai Gaur Haribo 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 Nitai Gaur Haribo. If Sri Gauranga had not appeared, then what would have become of us? How would we have survived? Who could have taught the world about the glories of Srimati Radharani and the topmost limit of Prem Ras? Who would have had true insight to enter the sweet rapture of the forest of Vrindadevi and the power to render loving service in the mood of the damsels of Braj? With a simple heart, always sing about Gauranga's glorious qualities. I cannot see even one person as compassionate as he in this ocean of material existence. Even though I chant Gauranga, my heart has not melted. How do I continue to maintain this body? How has Narahari been created with a stone in place of a heart? Me? Okay. You want another Gauranga mantra? You, Prabhu. Any Gauranga bhajan?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, I thought he was. Oh, sorry. I thought he said. I'm sorry. I didn't understand.
I don't think he wants to sing this Gauranga Bina Nahi Aar. Any Gauranga bhajan?
Yes. Good, dank. It's 173. দয়াই তাই চৈতন্য বলে নাচ রে আমার মন নাচ রে আমার মন বলে নাচ রে আমার মন ও দয়ালানি তাই চৈতন্য বলে নাচ রে আমার মন ও দয়ালানি তাই চৈতন্য বলে নাচ রে আমার মন Chant the holy names of the munificent Nitai and Chaitanya and dance, my dear, my dance, oh my just dance. Oh emona doyal to nahi hai, emon doyal to nahi hai, maar ke prem de emon doyal to nahi hai. ওরে অপরাধ ডুবে যাবে পাবে প্রেমাধান ও দয়াল নিতাই চৈতন্য বলে নাচ রে আমার মন O doyal Nitai Chaitanya bole Nachre Aman Man. There is no one as merciful as Nitai, for despite being beaten, he bestowed prem. By chanting their names, your offenses will go far away and you will obtain the treasure of prem. O name aparad vichar nahi hai. Takon Krishna name ruchi habe guchi be bandhan. O doyal Nitai Chaitanya bole nachre aman man. Doyal Nitai Chaitanya bole nachre aman man. There's no consideration of offenses in chanting their body, their holy names. Then you will develop a taste for Krishna Nam, and your bondage to material existence will be destroyed. Krishna Name Anurakto Habe. Tagonana Yase Sapal Habe Jivero Jivan. O doyal Nitai Chaitanya bole nachre aman man. Doyal Nitai Chaitanya bole nachre aman man. You will develop a deep attachment to Krishna Nam. Then automatically your life will become successful. Without attachment to Shri Krishna, this life is simply useless. Ama Krishna rati bina jivanto mije. Sheshe vrindavane radha shame pavedarashan. Amara Gaur kripa hoye he. Ama Gaur kripa hoye he. Doyal Nitai Chaitanya bole nachre aman man. If you receive the mercy of Shri Gauranga, ultimately you will receive the darshan of Shri Radha Shyam Sundar in Vrindavan. Nachre aman man, bole nachre aman man. O doyal Nitai Chaitanya bole nachre aman man. Doyal Nitai Chaitanya bole nachre aman man. Jaya Gaura Nitai, Jaya Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Jaya Gaura Nitai. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo. Shri Nitai Gaur Sundar ki jai, Shri Gaur Purnima Khotsava ki jai.
Goranga bolite habe pulaka sharira hari hari bolite na yane ba benira. Araka benitai chader karuna hoibe samsara vasana morea kabe tu chahabe. Vishaya chadiya kabe shuddha bemana kabe hamahera boshri vrindavana. Rupa Raghunatha Pade Hoi Beakuti Kabe Hama Buja Bose Yugala Piriti. Rupa Raghunatha Pade Rahu Mora Asha Pratana Karaye Sada Narottama Dasa. Gauranga bolite habe pulaka sharira Hari Hari bolite nai Yane babenira. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jayonita. Jayo Nitai Goranga, Jayo Nitai Goranga, Nitai Goranga, Jayo Gora Hari. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gora Hari Bol. When will the hair on my body stand on end upon chanting Goranga? When will my eyes overflow with tears upon chanting Hari Hari? And when will the moon like Nityananda Prabhu bestow his mercy upon me? When will my material desires become insignificant? When will my mind, as a result of my renouncing material enjoyment, become purified? When will I behold Sri Vrindavan? When will I develop eagerness for the lotus feet of Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, by whose mercy I will be able to understand the love, priti, of the divine couple? Let all my hopes and aspirations remain at the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Sri Raghunath Das. This is the constant prayer of Narottam Das.
3, 4, 3. Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande. Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande. Man manasa madhukara marpaya nija pada pankaja makarande. Pankaja makarande. Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande. Yadyapi samadhishu vidirapi pashati natava nakagamarichi. Kagamarichi. Idami chamini shamyatava chuta tadapi kripad bhutavichi. Haribo! Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande. Vande. Bhakti Rudan Chati Yadyapi Madhava Natwai Mamatila Machi. Parameshwara Tatada Pita Vadika Durgata Gata Navidachi. You say hi? Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande. Vande. Oh Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande. I am Avilo Lataya Jasanatana Kalita Bhuttara Sabaram. Bhuttara Sabaram. Nivasatu Nityami Amrita Nindini Vindan Madhuri Masaram. Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande. Vande. Oh Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande. Vande. Man manasa madhukara marpaya nicha pada pankaja makarande. Pada pankaja. Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande. Oh Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande. Oh Krishna Hey, Krishna Hey, Krishna Hey, Krishna Hey. Krishna Hey, Krishna Hey. Oh Krishna, oh Dave, I'm offering a prayer to you. Kindly place the bee of my mind within the honey of your lotus feet. Although Brahma in full samadhi cannot catch a glimpse of even a ray of the effulgence emanating from the tips of your toenails, still, O Achyuta, having heard of the waves of your astonishing mercy, I long to receive your grace. O Madhava, although I don't possess even a sesame seed of bhakti for you, still, since you are the supreme controller, you can make the impossible possible. O Sanatan, because your lotus feet are filled with the most wonderful ras, let the bee of my mind always reside unwaveringly in that nectar, which puts everything else to shame, for they are the essence of all sweetness. Rio. Oh, the driveway wasn't open? Oh, it's open, yeah. Okay, cool. Good. That's
Should we do Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daitya or a different Radha Bhajan? Anyone? Okay. Do you like Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daitya, or would you like another one like Vrishabhanu Sutta? Or we can do that one. Page 112. Vrishabhanu Sutta Charana Sevane Hoi Boye Payadasi Vrishabhanu Sutta Charana Sevane Hoi Boye Payadasi Vrishabhanu Sutta Charana Sevane Hoi Bodhe Payadasi Vrishabhanu Sutta Charana Sevane Hoi Bodhe Payadasi Shri Radhara Sukha Satata Sadhane Rahibo Ami Prayasi Shri Radhara Sukha Satata Sadhane Rahibo Ami Prayasi Vrishabhanu Sutta Charana Sevane Hoi Boye Payadasi Hoi Boye Payadasi Shri Radha Sukhe Krishna Rahe Sukh Janibo Manite Ami Shri Radha Sukhe Krishna Rahe Sukha Janibo Manite Ami Radha Padachari Shri Krishna Sangame Kabuna Hoibo Kami Radha Padachari Shri Krishna Sangame Kabuna Hoibo Kami Saki Gana Mama Parama Sare Jugala Premera Guru Yama Sareta Jugala Premera Guru Taranugaye Sevi Boradara Charana Kalpataru Taranugaye Sevi Boradara Charana Kalpataru Radha Paksha Chari Je Jana Se Jana He Bhava Se Bhave Take যে ভবে সে ভবে তাকে আমি তোরারিকা পক্ষপাতি সারা কবু নাহি হেরি তাকে আমি তোরারিকা পক্ষপাতি সারা কবু নাহি হেরি তাকে বৃষভানুসুতা চরণ সেবনে ওইব হে পয়দাসী বৃষভানুসুতা চরণ সেবনে ওইব হে পয়দাসী Shiradara sukha satata sadhane rahibo ami prayasi rahibo ami prayasi Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya To serve the lotus feet of the daughter of King Vrishabhanu, I shall become her Palyadasi, affectionately sheltered maidservant, and strive to constantly bring her all happiness. I shall know within my heart that Sri Krishna takes pleasure in Sri Radha's happiness, and so I shall never desire to abandon her lotus feet and to enjoy separately with Sri Krishna. The Sakhis are my supreme well-wishers and my gurus regarding the loving affairs of the divine couple. Remaining faithfully under their guidance, I shall serve Sri Radha's lotus feet, which are like wish-fulfilling trees. Let anyone aside from Sri Radha's party be as they are. I am indeed always partial to Srimati Radhika and never look upon those who are not. Jai Srimati Radhika ki jai.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jayo Hari Nama, Prari Nama, Jayo Hari Nama. Nitai Gaura Haribo, Nitai Gaura Haribo. Shri Nitai Gaur Sundar ki jai.
अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकाय तुदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। प्रव्रजन्तं अनुपेतकृत्यं द्वैपायनो विरहका तरुवाजुहाव पुत्रेति तन्मयतया वो बनेदुस् तं सर्वभूतहृदयं मुनिमानतोऽस्मि भक्त्या हीनाय अपराधलक्ष्यै क्षिप्तस्य कामादि तरङ्गमध्ये कृपामयि त्वं शरणं प्रपद्यं वृन्दे नमस्ते चरणारविन्दं तवैवास्मि मितं विना इति विज्ञाय राधे तं नयमां शरणन्तिके. First, I offer my unlimited obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful Diksha Gurudev, Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Asto to the Sat Shri Sriman, Srila Bhakti Vedanta, Swami Prabhupada, and the same unlimited obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful Shiksha Gurudev, Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Astotra Sat Shri Sriman, Srila Bhakti Vedanta, Narayan Goswami Maharaj, and Shri Srimad Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj, to our grandfather gurus. How come everybody always goes down there? Huh? They like the backs, okay. All right, so, exactly. Shri Srimad Bhakti, Pragyan Keshava Goswami Maharaj, and Shri Srimad Bhakti, Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, and to all of his divine associates, and to all the assembled devotees, and the assembled devotees, Diksha Gurus who are my Shiksha Gurus, Shri Srimad Bhakti, Vedanta Madhav Maharaj, Shri Srimad Bhakti, Vedanta Ban Maharaj, and Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Siddhanti Maharaj. Where are we? Rudradweep and Navadweep. We just left Mahatpur, and so let's take a few steps back, do Achman of this lake in Mahatpur, and jump in, bathe, jump out, dry off, then roll in the dust, weep, fall unconscious, come back to consciousness. And then we came to Rudradweep, and we heard from Srila Gurudev and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur about, first back in Mahatpur, we heard about Ramanuja Acharya and got his darshan, heard his glories, and then we also got the darshan of Madhvacharya, our Sampradaya Guru. Then now in Ritudweep, we met Vishnu Swami, who was blessed by Rudra, Nila Rohit Rudra, to come in his sampradaya because Vishnu Swami prayed to Rudra or Lord Shiva, Shankar, that please put us in any sampradaya where we can get pure bhakti. He said, yes, you can come in my sampradaya. You already know there are 4 sampradayas. Their photos are up there and also here. Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Nimbaditya, who we'll meet soon, and Vishnu Swami. So we're going to be reading from Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Navadvip Dham Mahatmya. And he wrote this book, not that he wrote this book, but it's just coming through his hand by his trance as he's seeing Nityananda Prabhu and Jiva Goswami on the very, very first parikrama. You also met the Pandavas, Yudhisthira and his brothers, who also spent some time here and who also had a dream from Gauranga that he wants him to go to where? To Jagannath Puri. So in Jagannath Puri, they became or they manifested as Ramananda Rai and his brothers. If I'm making any mistakes, I hope somebody will correct me. And now Nityananda is bringing us to, we also found out that Vishnu Swami in Kali Yuga became Balabhacharya, who was an associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he went to Braj on Mahaprabhu's order. Now we're just now coming to Pada Danga, another area in Ritudvip. Oh, Rati, we're just finishing our parikrama that we've been doing for... That's perfect, because you just jumped into the Mahatpur pond.
You said that it's in Ritudvip, but I thought we were in Ritudvip.
I'm sorry, sometimes I get them mixed up. It's Ritudvip. Because they're both Rs. So having spoken thus, Nityananda Prabhu turned his face towards the south and happily began to walk towards the beautiful bank of the Ganga named Para Danga. And I want to, so you can see where we are. Where are we? Oh, I don't see the Ganga here. Yeah. So when they came to the bank of Sri Bhagirati Ganga, Nityananda Prabhu showed Sri Jiva, Sri Ras Mandala, and dear Samir. You know, Ras Mandala is in Vrindavan, and there's millions of Ras Mandalas. And they're all situated in Navadvip. And dear Samir, dear means what? Slowly. And Samir means the breeze. So, because everything is a person in Vrindavan, dear Samir is like an intoxicated person. When a person, Gurudev gave the example, when a person like wakes up at 2 in the morning, and he's trying to find his way, and he's going very slowly, and he's kind of dizzy. So the breeze was like that, being intoxicated by the flute playing of Krishna and the coming of the gopis to dance with him. Hearing the name of Vrindavan, Jiva became overwhelmed with prema, and streams of tears began to flow from his eyes. This is a good lamentation I'm hearing the name Vrindavan, and there's no streams falling from my eyes. When will I get mercy? When will Nityananda Prabhu be merciful to me? Do you remember that kirtan that Kunja Bihari led us in? Garanga Boli Te Habe. What's the line? Huh? What? That's to Lord Chaitanya, but, huh? This is our whispering president. When will Nityananda Prabhu bestow his mercy upon me, taking away all my material desires, so that I can have darshan of Vrindavan? Sri Nityananda Prabhu said, "Here, together with his devotees, Gauranga performed kirtan of the verses describing the Rasa Lila. O Jiva, the pastime place in Vrindavan, called the Maha Ras Stali, that is Bangsibat, where Krishna called the millions of gopis to dance with him, is on the bank of the Jahnavi in Navadvip. Here, Sri Krishna eternally performs Rasa Lila with the gopis. Where are we? We're in Maharastali. Where? Huh? In Rudradvip in Paradanga. Behold, Sri Dir Samir to the west of Rasastali. Listen, O supremely intelligent and grave Jiva. This is a place of bhajan. In Braj, Dir Samir is splendidly situated on the bank of the Jamuna, and here it is situated, naturally, on the bank of the Ganga. It appears to be the bank of the Ganga, but actually it's not so, because Sri Jamuna is flowing on the Ganga's western bank. There's two rivers, a dark one and a light one, flowing just together. It's amazing how they don't merge with each other. They just flow together. This is why Sri Sachinandan called the beautiful place on the bank of the Jamuna Vrindavan. O Jiva, all the pastime places of Vrindavan are splendidly manifest here. There's no difference between Dham Vrindavan and Sri Navadvip Dham, as you've heard so many times. You should never see any difference between them. There's only one difference. Both of them have the qualities of Madhurya and Audarya, or sweetness and benevolence. But in Vrindavan, the sweetness is prominent, and in Navadvip, the benevolence is prominent. After showing Vrindavan to Sri Jiva, Sri Nityananda Prabhu, who was immersed in powerful transcendental emotions, continued onward. They proceeded further towards the north and spent the night in Ritudvip. Now Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who's in total trance, watching this parikrama with Nityananda Prabhu, Jiva Goswami, and his other associates, he prays at the end of every chapter. This Bhaktivinoda, whose only wealth is the lotus feet of Nityananda Prabhu and Jahnava Devi, is singing the glories of Nadia. Soon we're going to meet the fourth Sampradaya Acharya. Who's left? Nimbaditya, just coming. Now, within Rudradweep is also Bilba Puskarini, which is the Bailvan, where Lakshmi Devi performed severe austerities for thousands of years to be able to enter into the rasa dance. But when Yogamaya came to her and said, okay, you can come and join the ras, but are you prepared to do a few things? Are you prepared, because only gopis are allowed in the rasa stali, are you prepared to leave your husband and go and dance with Krishna? How can I leave my husband? I'm a chaste Brahmani wife of Lord Narayan. Well, are you prepared to make cow dung patties? And so, are you prepared to leave your husband in Vaikuntha and then get another husband in Vrindavan and then leave him in the middle of the night and go and dance with Krishna? Absurd. Because she's under rules and regulations and full chastity to her husband. Nityananda Prabhu, the son of Padmavati. There's another Padmavati, remember? Jayadev Goswami's consort. Once, the queen of the king, where Jayadev was staying for a while, she decided to test. She didn't believe that anybody could be so chaste that if they simply hear about their husband's death, they immediately die. They don't have to walk into the fire, when the husband is burned, and then they walk into the funeral pyre to show their chastity, because their separation from their husband is worse than the fire, so they walk in the fire so that they could have the same destination. But a real chaste wife only has to hear that he died, and she would die. So the queen tested her, and she immediately died. The queen felt terrible. So they brought Jayadev Goswami, and he brought her back to life. A what? A real thing.
It's called broken heart failure.
Broken heart failure.
In medicine, we call it takusobo. It's named after a Japanese.
Oh, you're in the medical business?
Yeah, I'm in
Right, so Rati knows. It's a medical term. Broken heart failure.
heart failure.
Amazing.
And it often happens the spouse, the wife of the spouse.
Often, wow. If she's so,
She didn't go in the fire.
right. Okay, so, thank you. Nityananda Prabhu, the son of Padmavati, crossed Sri Jahnavi and proceeded on a little further. See this supremely enchanting Bilba Paksha, he said to the devotees. Nowadays, everyone calls it Bela Pugariya. The scriptures declare this place to be Bilvavan or Bailvan in Vrindavan. Behold the same place in Navadvip. Panchamukh, who's that? Lord Shiva sometimes manifests 5 faces. Bilvakesha, Shiva, used to reside here. For 15 days, many brahmanas worshipped him by offering him leaves of the bael tree. Pleased with them, he blessed them with the boon of Sri Bhakti, Krishna Bhakti. Now, Sri Nimbaditya, we're going to meet him now, was one of those brahmanas. What were the brahmanas doing? They were worshipping Lord Shiva with leaves from the Bael tree. So Nimbaditi was one of those brahmanas. Full of devotion, he worshipped Panchamukh Lord Shiva. Being pleased with his worship, Panchamukh Shankar said to Nimbaditya, a divine forest of Bael trees, that is, Baelvan, is situated on the border of this village. In that forest, there are 4 brahmacharis named Chatur Sun, which means the 4 brothers, Sanat Kumar, Sanandana, Sanak, and Sanandana. Did I say any name twice? Okay. Chatu's son, Chatu's 4, are your gurus. All of your heart's desire will be fulfilled by serving them. Having spoken thus, Maheshwara, Lord Shiva, disappeared. How do you guys, Prabhu? There's a picture of Prithu Maharaj in the art book worshipping. He put the 4 Kumaras on his throne and he's worshipping them. So you can get an idea of what they look like. But we gave them dhotis, but actually they don't wear anything. Having spoken thus, Maheshwara disappeared. Sri Nimbaditya searched for the place that Maheshwara had told him about, and in doing so, he arrived here in Bilvavan. In Bilvavan, he saw the 4 sages sitting on a beautiful raised platform. So what sampradaya is this? Because every one of the 4 sampradaya, Kali Yuga sampradaya acharyas, is coming from an original beginner of that sampradaya. So we heard about Lakshmi, and who's the Kali Yuga acharya? Ramanuja. Yeah. We heard about Rudra, who's the Kali Yuga acharya? Vishnu Swami. We heard about Brahma, and who's the Kali Yuga acharya? Madhvacharya. So now we're meeting the 4th, Nimbaditya, and who are his gurus? Who's the starter of that sampradaya? 4 starters. Yeah, sure. Now you're seeing how the 4 Kumaras, who were by pastimes, who were impersonalists, how by meeting Lord Vishnu and observing him and also smelling the tulsi leaves at his lotus feet, they became pure devotees. And in the previous window to the spiritual world, they are hearing from their father, Brahma. They're coming from Brahma's mind. And Brahma said, now there's hardly anybody in the universe. Go and procreate, create progeny all over the universe. They said, no, we want to remain brahmacharis. So Lord Brahma got angry, and so from the place where the anger is, from in between his eyebrows came Lord Shiva, and he began destroying the universe. And Brahma told him, this is not the time to destroy the universe. We're just starting here. So then Lord Shiva began meditating. No ordinary person was able to see those 4 naked youths, whose character was supremely illustrious, and who were sitting close to Vriddikesh, Lord Shiva. When Sri Nimbaditya Acharya saw them, he began to eagerly call out, Hare Krishna, feeling excessive joy. Upon hearing the name Hari, their meditation broke, and they saw a Vaishnava standing in front of them. One by one, those four youths happily embraced Nimbaditya. Who are you? They asked him. Why have you come here? Please introduce yourself. We will certainly fulfill your desire. When he heard their words, Sri Nimbaditya first offered them obeisances, and thereafter, with great humility, he told them about himself. After hearing about his identity, they smiled and said, the terrible Kali Yuga is coming. Knowing this, the God of all gods, Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Sarvesvareshvara, the God of all gods, in his form as Krishna, made a resolution to spread bhakti for the supreme benefit of the living beings. That kind of bhakti that even Lord Brahma finds difficult to attain, but he's giving it to ordinary persons. So the Supreme Lord transmitted his power into four devotees and sent them to spread bhakti throughout the world. Sri Ramanuja, Sri Madhva, and Sri Vishnu Swami are three of those great personalities, and you, Sri Nimbaditya, will be the fourth. You will be endowed with the power of Bhagavan. Sri Ramanuja, Sri Madhva, and Sri Vishnu Swami were accepted in the Bhakti Sampradayas of Lakshmi, Brahma, and Rudra. From today, we accept you in our Bhakti Sampradaya. Our purpose is to become blessed by accepting you as our disciple. We used to be immersed in impersonal knowledge, but by the Supreme Lord's special mercy, this sin of ours, it's a sin to be an impersonalist. Now we understand that Shuddha Bhakti is the most excellent object. We have also composed a Samhita. They wrote the Kumara or Sanak Samhita. And actually it's about the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. Seeing the kindness of Sri Gurudev, Sri Gurudev is for her. Nimbarka, also known as Nimbarka, took bath in the river Bhagirati without any delay and then returned. I've never seen such an unparalleled form. Where can I find this incomparable form? Sriman Mahaprabhu, oh, did I skip a page? Yeah, I did. So then Nimbaditya offered his obeisances and humbly said, O Master, O Savior of the fallen, please deliver this lowly person. Sri Chatur Sana gave him the Jugal mantra, that is a Radha and Krishna mantra, and instructed him in worshipping Sri Radha Krishna while filled with spiritual sentiments. That's why they wrote this Sanat Kumar Samhita. So they gave him Rag Bhav Marg or Rag Marg, Raganuga Bhakti. After receiving the mantra, what's the difference between them and Lord Chaitanya? He also gave Rag Marg. Raga Marga Bhakti, Kodi Le Pracharan. Yeah, what does that mean? He's saying the next line of what I said. Rashig Shekhar Krishna, because he's the connoisseur of ras, and he's most merciful. But that doesn't answer the question. No, he's tasting the essence of love of his most beloved Radha. He's giving Ragmarg. Why? Because he's merciful, and he's the supreme taster of mellows. So what's the difference between his Ragmarg and his Ragmarg? He's also giving Madhurya Ras service.
Lord Chaitanya, from my understanding, he's giving Unato Jvala Shriyam, the most beautiful.
Which is Rupanuga. Right. The Manjari Bhav he gave, which is Rupanuga. Because Raganuga can be any one of the 5 rasas, and Rupanuga is only as a Manjari. So every Rupanuga devotee is Raganuga, but not every Raganuga bhakti is Rupanuga. Only a special kind. So after receiving the mantra, Nimbaditya sat in the sacred place where we are now. Did we offer our obeisances here? No. Let's roll in the dust, weep, become unconscious, wake up from our unconsciousness, and weep again, and then shiver, and then put the dust on our head, heart, eyelids, and tongue. And praying that this place manifests to us and that Maya stop manifesting to us.
Could you remind me the name of this place?
The name of this place is Belvan in Vrindavan, and Bilva Paksha. Let's see. Belvan is in Vrindavan, and in Navadvip it's there, hidden, and it's called Bilva Puskarini. Or Bilva Paksha. Sri Radha and Krishna, so he was perfectly following their instructions. And then Radha and Krishna mercifully bestowed their darshan to Nimbaditya. The splendor of their forms spread effulgence in all directions. Gently smiling, they said, "Oh, Nimbaditya, you are blessed. You have worshipped us here in Navadvip, which is dear to both of us." Who's speaking? Who's speaking? They're not both, they're 4. So they gave Nimbaditya the Radha Krishna mantra, and he was chanting that, following his guru's instructions. And so Radha and Krishna manifest to them out of the mantra, because the mantra is non-different from the personality. In this very place, we combine in one form. Oh, thanks. Thank you. We combine in one form as who? Sri Sachinandan Gaura Hari. And we always reside here in Navadvip and in Bilvapaksha and everywhere in Navadvip. While saying this, they manifested their form, Radha and Krishna manifested their form as Sri Gaura. And then Nimbaditya became overwhelmed by seeing Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Merely upon hearing your name, the eminent, oops, I skipped a page again. I have never seen, now here's where it comes, I have never seen such an unparalleled form as Sri Gauranga, nor have my ears heard of such a form. Where can I find this incomparable form? Mahaprabhu mercifully said, O Nimbaditya, you are a great personality. Do not tell anyone about this form. For now, keep it secret. Why? Because after my disappearance, automatically by my desire, all the scriptures will be revealed telling about my pastimes and about this place. Preach Krishna Bhakti, full of the divine couple's pastimes. I receive great pleasure from hearing these pastimes. When the time comes to manifest my form as Sri Gaura, but he's already manifested. So is that confusing? Here I am in front of you, and when time comes to manifest my form, what does that mean, Haridas?
The difference between an uppercut and percut lila, I think. That he at that moment the actual leelas were not manifest, but then the leelas will become manifest at a later time.
Good. That is 500 something years ago, and this is thousands of years ago. So he always appears to them. He appeared to all four acharyas and to many other people in different chapters before he actually came to earth. So he just pre-manifested to them. So don't tell anybody about this form. Automatically, when I come and then when I go, it's all going to be revealed to the world. Who did he become? At that time, you will take birth in the state of Kashmir and wander through Bharatvarsha as a champion of learning. Any guess on his name? Keshava Kashmiri. So he seemed like a puffed up, challenging non-devotee, but really he wasn't. Who else became who? Brihaspati became Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and Gopinath Acharya was with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya when he was hearing from Mahaprabhu. Who did he become? Baladev Vijayabhusam Prabhu. And who did Kamsa become? Shankazi. Your name will be Keshava Kashmiri, and everyone will acknowledge you as a great scholar. In your wandering, you will come to this Sri Navadvip Dham and reside in the village of Mayapur. Because Mayapur, Antardvip Mayapur, that's where what god is there that he met Mahaprabhu? Barakonagat. Merely upon hearing your name, all the eminent teachers of Navadvip will flee. And then they'll say, go to Nima, you can see if you can defeat him. Thinking, well, he's just a boy. If he defeats him, it's not such a big thing. And if he doesn't defeat him, it'll be a big thing for us. At that time, I will be intoxicated in relishing the mellows of erudition and scholarship. Vidya Vilas, what does that mean? Yeah, Vilas means pastimes. Like Nikunja Vilasi means who engages in the playful pastimes in the Nikunjas, in the secluded groves. So Vidya Vilas means his pastimes in scholarship and scaring all the other scholars away. Whenever they would see him, including Mukunda, Gadadhar, they would walk in the other direction. By the mercy of Goddess Saraswati, you will understand the truth about me. When he went and complained to his worshipful Goddess Saraswati, when he was defeated by Mahaprabhu. She said, well, how could I help you to defeat my husband, the Supreme Personality of Godhead? You will give up your false pride and accept shelter of me. So he's already gotten darshan of Radha and Krishna. So this is just an act. After bestowing upon you the gift of bhakti, I will send you everywhere to spread bhakti. Therefore, now keep my identity a secret and satisfy me by preaching the philosophy. So each sampradaya's philosophy is called a different name. Remember Madhvacharya's name? Shuddha Dvaita, pure dualism, 5 duals. And then Vishnu Swami is who? Shuddha Dvaita, which means purified non-dualism, which means it's not the corrupt non-dualism of Shankaracharya. When I appear, I will inaugurate the congregational chanting of the holy name, Sankirtan. And at that time, I myself will preach the essence of your philosophy, that is, Dvait Advait, difference and non-difference. It's not quite the same as Mahaprabhu's. As we see here, the next chapter coming up is how Mahaprabhu accepted two qualities, or 2 essential conceptions of each acharya. Now we're going to hear that. O great personality, from Sri Madhva Sampradaya, I will accept 2 essential principles. The refutation of Kaivala Dvaita, that is Sankaracharya's impersonal philosophy, and service to Krishna's deity. Who's Madhvacharya's deity? Gopal where? In Udupi. Having accepted this form, the deity form, as eternal. From the Ramanuja Sampradaya, I will accept exclusive devotion, Ananya Bhakti, and service to the devotees. How are you going to remember that it's service to the devotees? Okay, pure bhakti without any adulteration and service to the Vaishnavas. How will you remember that? Just guess anything. This is just from you. Huh? How will you remember? What's a silly way to remember? That from Ramanuja's Acharya Sampradaya, he'll get Kaivala Bhakti, pure Bhakti, to defeat the Kaivala Dvaita, impersonal philosophy. And what else? Service to the deity. How will we remember that? Dasyaras? No, this is service to the Vaishnavas. I mean, it's service to Krishna, but this is service to the Vaishnavas. So what's a way? Okay, let's see. What's a way? Ramanuja served the Vaishnavas, who were his disciples, by by externally preaching Dasyaras with them. That's one way. From Sri Vishnu Swami, I will accept the sentiment that Krishna alone is my everything. And the path of spontaneous, 2 things. Krishna is my everything, and the path of Ragamarg, spontaneous devotion. From your sampradaya, who's he speaking to? Nimbaditya. I will accept 2 supremely essential. No, I made a mistake. Yeah, Vishnu Swami was Ragmarg. And from your sampradaya, the two essential principles that I'm going to accept is to exclusively take shelter of Srimati Radhika and the sentiments of the gopis. Speaking thus, Sri Gaurachandra disappeared. Sri Nimbaditya began to weep, intoxicated with prema. To thoroughly follow Sriman Mahaprabhu's instructions, Nimbaditya first offered his obeisances to his gurus. That's the beginning of spiritual life. Just like we do arati, and so first we offer not offer it as an arti, but show the paraphernalia to our Gurudev and get his permission to worship the deity. He then left for another place to disseminate Krishna Bhakti. From afar, Nityananda Prabhu showed the place called Rama Tirtha to Jiva. In that place, Sri Baladev, Balaram, killed the demon called Kola, and thereafter bathed together with all the Yadavas in the Ganga. Today this place is famous by the name Rukmapur. Okay, so then last place is Bharadwaj Tila. I think we'll discuss that later during the day. Because we want to well, actually, Raga is going to be speaking about Nirdoi Ghat in Rudradweep.
I'm just speaking about him taking sannyas. I don't really know anything about the place.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about how he left Vishnu Priya.
I'm going to talk about him. I'm sorry, I'm so sleep deprived right now. I'm not speaking words. I'm not talking about him leaving Vishnu Priya. I'm talking about the day he takes sannyas, where he tells Nityananda Prabhu.
Well, that includes that, but I'll read it since, yeah. Oh. So, Nirdoi Ghat. This is Nirdoi Ghat, right here. When Gurudev takes the devotees to Nirdoi Ghat, there's like 20,000 people right at this ghat. Fortunately, we have the book because we wouldn't be able to hear anything. I've been there when he was there, but I can't hear anything. So, when Lord Chaitanya decided to take sannyas, that is, he was chanting Gopi Gopi, because he was in the mood of the gopis. And his students, they said, why don't you chant the name of Krishna instead of gopis? So Mahaprabhu, in the mood of the gopis, angry at Krishna for some reason, started to chase those students with a stick. So those students went to a larger group of students, and they decided, how dare he do that? We should beat him. So then he realized that in my householder status right now, my householder ashram, I'm not getting the respect that I deserve as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So I'm going to take sannyas. So he decided to take sannyas, which Raga will tell more details about. And then on that day, he went to the shop of Kolavecha Sridhar. You heard about, are you going to talk about that? No. So, as you know, they always quarrel. Because who is Sridhar? Kolavecha Sridhar in Krishna Lila? Kushamasava. You're confusing him with an elephant. Isn't Kushamabhita the elephant? Kushamasava. So, because in Krishna Lila, he's a coward friend, so the two of them are always joking. Mahaprabhu will just grab his banana skins or ripe bananas, and then they would fight about the price. And he'd say, look, I'm God. I know that you give your banana things, your different kinds of banana products, to the Ganges. You spend 50% of your wealth on worship of the Ganges, but you don't know that I'm the husband of the Ganges. So we said, that's an offense to the Ganges. So they would quarrel back and forth. Anyway, so on this last day, when he was going to take sannyas that night, he asked him for a loki. So he gave him a loki, and then he asked his mother to cook loki in milk. It's called lucky, and sugar too. It's a very sweet preparation.
I thought the sugar came to Mother Sachi's house and brought the door.
It could be that. Do you have that written?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. You can say it. So you do plan to include that.
I thought you were talking about something with a shop. That's why I was confused.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay. So you can tell it the right way. Yeah. So then he went to the room of Vishnu Priya. Do you have that? He went to the room of Vishnu Priya. They'd been married for how many years? About 4 years. He barely ever talked to her. He joked, which wasn't even a funny joke, once, Prabhupada said. Everybody was looking for something, and Mahaprabhu told his mother, maybe your daughter-in-law has taken it. That was the big joke. So now, years later, and she didn't object to the fact that he was always calling out Krishna and didn't pay her attention, because she wanted to was in the mood of service. So that day, she went to bathe in the Ganges. And on the way, she stubbed her toe and it bled. She thought, maybe something inauspicious is going to happen. And then, when she was in the water, she lost her marriage nose ring, the nose ring that came during the marriage ceremony. And she thought, I know something inauspicious. I might lose my marriage. So she went back weeping to Mother Sachi, who could not console her. Rather, the two of them wept together. And so that night, when Mahaprabhu came into Vishnu Priya's room, he was so loving to her. The first time that he was loving to her, speaking very sweet, loving, ras-filled, loving words, decorating her hair. He came in that night all decorated himself and offering her betel nut, and she thought, something suspicious is happening here. 2 bad omens happened today, and now this. She said, now, you know an oil lamp? What do you call that, lantern? It's burning, and when it's ready to go out, it makes a sound, buck, buck, buck. Like, first it gets bright, and then finished. So I think that's what's happening now. But she couldn't even stay awake to lament like that, because Mahaprabhu called Yogamaya to sit on her eyelids and make her eyelids feel like she weighed a ton, like her eyelids weighed a ton. So she couldn't keep her eyes open, and she fell asleep. Are you going to talk about the part of circumambulating Mother Sachi? So she's going to explain in more detail how Mother Sachi was standing like a statue outside the room and at the gate, and so he circumambulated her and offered obeisances, circumambulated, say, I'm going to meet my Krishna. And then she's going to tell more detailed. So that's why this place is called Nir Doi Ghat. Ghat means the place where the river is there. Ghat, of course, means like usually there's man-made stairs. But this is a photograph that was taken recently. So Nir Doi. Doi means what? Mercy. Nir means no. No mercy. He showed to his wife, and his young wife in her 20s, and then his mother. And when Krishna, oh Krishna, I'm coming to you, something like that, which she will tell the details about. Then he swam across, it was a very dark, rainy night, and he came to Katfa, where he took sannyas, and you'll hear about the details later. So this place is very close to our Keshavji Gaudiya Mutt, and so we just walked back to the mutt right after coming from near Doi Ghat. I want to know about so far what I said. Is there any questions? All right, so now we're coming to another subject. This is going to be my topic. Like we've just finished Navadvipdham Parikrama. Gaura Premanandi. Except one place we'll go to later. So another subject is that during the Ratha Yatra festival that Gurudev puts on when he's traveling, Germany, sometimes it happens in Germany, sometimes it happens in England, sometimes Holland. So when the devotee asked, Krishna has different aspects. He has the original Krishna, which is the full Krishna, and then he has the plenary portions of Krishna, like Matharesh Krishna and Dwarkadish Krishna, and then there's Vaikunteshwara Krishna, not exactly Krishna, but Narayan. So somebody asked Gurudev, which aspects of Krishna is Mahaprabhu when Krishna goes to Mathura and Dwarka and South India? No, that's Lord Chaitanya, not South India. Mahaprabhu goes to South India. Mahaprabhu goes to Rath Yatra. Where's Rath Yatra? Where's Rath Yatra? Jagannath Puri. So which matches up? Follow? Question? So Gurudev said, can you guess the answer? The answer is none. Because he's not in the mood of Krishna. He's in the mood of Radhika. So there's different aspects of Radhika. When Krishna is there in Vrindavan and when Krishna leaves to go to Mathura and Dwarka. So when Krishna is in thanks. No, the water. Thank you. When Krishna is in Vrindavan, sorry. When Krishna is in Vrindavan, that's the original complete form of Radhika. And there's only very short separations, like when Krishna goes cowherding. So that is called, I forgot, Vrishabhanu Nandini Radha, the daughter of Vrishabhanu Maharaj. And then, when Krishna goes to Dwarka, and Radharani is feeling separation from him in Dwarka, she's called Viyogini. V means a special kind of yogini. Yoga means together. So but she's feeling separation. She's in Nandagaon, feeling separation. So how is that Biyogini? Because within separation, there's a special kind of meeting. So there she's Biyogini Radha or Radhika. And then when she meets Krishna at Kurukshetra, when she goes out of Vrindavan, then she's, or Mahaprabhu becomes, I'll explain it in a minute, Sanyogini Radhika. So Mahaprabhu, in Navadvip, he is Vrishabhanu Nandini, in the mood of Vrishabhanu Nandini Radhika. And then when he is at Jagannath Puri during the Rath Yatra festival, he's who? Sanyogini Radhika. But then who is he when he's, I think we need the Rath Yatra book. Can somebody get it? When he's down south, South India, with Ramananda Rai, it's the same, Sanyogini, because there's so much opulence there. What opulence is there in his discussions with, can you find it? What opulence is there? It should be near the end. What opulence is there in his talks with Ramananda Rai? So Ramananda Rai is Vishaka Devi, and she always sees, in Vrindavan, she always sees Radha and Krishna together, standing together, playing together. But now, with Mahaprabhu, at the end of their talks, Mahaprabhu displayed Rasaraj Mahadev, which is Radha and Krishna combined together. Did you ever see that picture where one leg is over another leg? You can't tell who's who. I wonder where that painting is. Oh, well, sometime ask somebody who knows where that picture is. Like, there, I can't even explain it. It's just so entangled. One arm and one side and a leg and there, and they're so entwined that you can't tell the difference. Because Mahaprabhu is both Radha and Krishna together. Rasaraj, who's that? Krishna. And Mahabhav, Radharani is the embodiment of that. So he displayed Rasaraj Mahabhav where, I can't see. Perfect. Yeah, want to pass that around or bring it around? I'm looking for the three Radhikas. Oh yeah, so not only that, but Krishna's effulgence is on top of Radhika, and then her effulgence is on top of him. And so that's, even their effulgences are intertwined like that. So in both places there's opulence, because when Mahaprabhu is in Jagannath Puri, and especially at the Rath Yatra festival, he displays so much opulence. You have it or not? Okay. Oh, in the book? You want to get that? That's great. Yeah.
So you're saying the opulence that Lord Chaitanya is displaying in Jagannath Puri, is that the effulgence of Radha and Krishna over
Not only the effulgence, their whole bodies are like that, entwined.
their opulence is over?
That's an opulence, because Ramananda Rai had seen Radha and Krishna so many times, but to see them like that he was taken aback. My godbrother Murlidhar did a painting of that, and Ramananda Rai is like that.
Ramananda Rai was seeing
that form, Rasaraj Mahadev.
Three aspects of Radhika.
Okay, good.
Aspects of Mahaprabhu.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Is that when, or when was Ramananda Rai saying that for? Is that when they started?
When Mahaprabhu went to South India, because Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya recommended that he go meet with him, so he met Ramananda Rai. They began by discussing very basic topics. Mahaprabhu said, what is the goal and what is the process to get to the goal? So every time Ramananda Rai gave an answer, he said, no, that's external. See if you can go further. So he went to higher and higher depths of what is the goal, what is the process. He started with Varnashram Dharma. Actually, are you familiar with this?
To some extent.
Okay, because I have to leave in 3 minutes. I'm not going to get very far. So how about if that's your topic today? You didn't study anything else yet, right? All right, so this is a very good topic because everybody's taking, periods of his life, but we need some philosophy too. Okay. So I'll start. Any other questions? Yes.
So these are just when you're talking about, these are different moods that Lord Chaitanya is exhibiting in these different places. Is that the way to understand it? I guess I'm not understanding the opulences or this is how he's.
In Navadvip, he doesn't display any opulences, except once when he was sitting on the throne of Vishnu in Srivas Thakur's house, and he was manifesting some opulence and giving Krishna Prem to all the different incarnations, devotees. But other than that, he was a student, he was a puffed up scholar defeating everybody just for the fun of it. Nobody knew that he was God. That's why Kolavecha Sridhar would argue with him. You're saying that you're the husband of the Ganga? That's an offense to the Ganga. So nobody knew. Sometimes there were hints, like Mother Sachi, you'll be hearing about it later when you come to Mahaprabhu's baby pastimes. How they would sometimes, when he's a baby, sing the footprints with the Lord Vishnu's symbols on the footprints. But still it didn't register that he's God, because she chastised him. So I'll just read a little bit of it and you can discuss Radhika and Mahaprabhu, because I have 1 more minute. For this reason, there are 3 aspects of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's always in Navadvip, so that's compared to Vrishabhanu Nandini Radhika. Always, he never leaves. Only a plenary portion of him leaves. In Navadvip there are 9 islands, which contain the 12 forests. Madhuvan, Talavan, Kamudvan, Bahudvan, and so on. Besides this, the 12 upavans, or sub-forests, of Vrindavan are also present. These 36 vans are present in Navadvip. In Navadvip, however, the forests are not situated in the same order. I'm really skipping so that you can just, my time is up, so you can study this for this evening. All right, and then who is going to speak this morning? Raga? Can you come here and speak? I wish I could be here. I'll hear the replay later. So where am I going? To the same place that Vasanti and Haridas are. That is, there's a Zoom meeting with the head of the Perez Museum's charity section. And also one person named Alex, he came here a few times and he liked this place and he wanted Perez to help us. So now he's finally arranged this meeting. And so we're just going to do that Zoom call. But I'll hear everything later. What, who? Oh, you're fully prepared for today? Yeah, then they can go this morning. And other people can go at night. So they have it. Huh? What pastime do you have? It's like a tearjerker.
Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shammadani Mataram Vande Agnopyayanugrahat Tarit Bhava Sagarakchalabit Krishna Premadanam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayani Tinamine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. First of all, offering humble obeisances unto the lotus feet of my most worshipful Diksha Guru Devi, Srimati Shamrani Didi, and unto my Param Guru Dev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and unto the entire Rupanuga Guru Varga, especially on this auspicious day of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance. So I will be speaking on the pastime of the Lord taking sannyas. As Guru Devi mentioned, the Lord makes this decision when he's chanting Gopi Gopi, people aren't taking him seriously. And so in order to continue his mission, he takes sannyas. So it's stated in the Chaitanya Bhagavat that the Lord goes to a secluded place and he tells Nitai about his plan. He's going to go to take shelter of Keshav Parvati in Indrani, and 5 people are going to know about his plan. He doesn't tell anyone else. So Mother Shachi, Gadadhar Pandit, Brahmananda Parvati, Chandrasekhar, and Mukunda. So Nitai Prabhu tells these 5 people about the plan. And so after his meeting with Nityananda Prabhu, the Lord takes prasadam, he goes to the Ganga, takes his noontime bath, and then he returns back to the home of Mother Sachi in the evening. And kind of the Lord acts as a magnet, like so many people are coming to the house of Mother Sachi at this time, even though they don't know that the Lord is taking sannyas, something is attracting them there. And everyone who's coming is bringing sandalwood pulps and a garland for the Lord. And each person, the Lord garlands with one of his garlands. It's stated too in the Chaitanya Bhagavat that Lord Brahma can't even count the number of people that were there. It's just innumerable. We can't even fathom this small home. So yeah, the Lord gives each person a garland. And along with this, he also just is in this ecstatic mood telling everyone, sing the glories of Krishna. he says, if you have any affection for me at all, don't speak of anything but Krishna. Sing Krishna in your sleep, while you're eating, while you're waking. Always, always be remembering Krishna in this way. And so eventually, after like many reveling in this ecstasy, he requests everyone to go home. And it's said too that everyone's floating in this state of ecstasy that people who know each other couldn't even recognize one another because they're so like enthralled in this mood. And yeah, it's so ecstatic. So after everyone leaves, Sridhar comes with the squash, as Gurudevi was mentioning earlier. And then one other Prabhu comes with the milk, and Mahaprabhu is thinking, oh, I'm leaving tomorrow. How am I going to take this? But in order to honor the gift of his devotee and keep that nice relationship, he requests Mother Sachi to cook it, and she does. And then after they leave, he honors the prasad. So Mahaprabhu takes rest that night, but Mother Sachi can't sleep. She's just weeping and weeping in the anticipatory grief of what she knows is to come the next day. The Lord rises early the following day during Brahma Muhurta, and he begins to say goodbye to Mother Sachi. And I'm just going to quote from the Chaitanya Bhagavat because it's really nice what the Lord is saying here. He says, I am fully independent, one without a second. This is my pastime. You have maintained me very nicely. Because of you, I have studied and learned. Without caring a bit for your personal happiness, you have increased my pleasure throughout my life. The amount of affection you have shown me at every moment is more than I can repay in millions of kalpas. Only by your mercy will I be relieved of my debt, yet I will remain indebted to you life after life. Please listen, dear mother. This entire creation is under the control of the Supreme Lord. No one has the power to be independent. Who can understand the Supreme Lord's will, by which living entities sometimes meet and sometimes separate? Whether I leave now or in 10 days after, you should not lament. I take full responsibility for both your worldly and spiritual needs. It's like, wow. He is saying, like, Mother Sachi has given him everything, and yet he is the one who's going to maintain her after this separation. Placing his hand on Mother Sachi's chest, the Lord repeatedly solaced her, saying, I will take full care of you. Mother Sachi quietly listened to what the Lord said. She made no reply, but simply shed incessant tears. So after glorifying Mother Sachi in this way, the Lord circumambulates her and then touches her feet, takes her foot dust, and like that, he just departs. And Mother Sachi becomes overwhelmed with this grave and quiet mood, and she sits in the doorway and is weeping. It says that she's inert and she's unable to speak, just grieving like this. And so then while she's sitting in the doorway, Srivas arrives and asks what she's waiting for. Why are you waiting in the doorway like this? And she says, she doesn't directly say that the Lord has taken sannyas. Instead, she says, you may distribute the items that he has left. They belong to you, the Vaishnavas. Be satisfied, do as you please, and let me go from here. And so Srivas, of course, and his associates know what this means. The Lord's taken sannyas. And they all fall unconscious. Mukunda, Murari, Sridhar, Gadadhar, Gangadas, Haridas, and Srivas all fall unconscious in the courtyard. And upon regaining consciousness, they're all just weeping incessantly, saying things like, how can I live without Gauranga? How will my life be maintained what's the use of family? What's the use of any of this without our Lord being here? And all the surrounding villagers, they're all hearing this crying, and they begin to gather, they begin to come. And upon seeing the associates and seeing Mother Sachi, they all know, okay, the Lord has taken sannyas. And everyone in Nadia begins to weep. Even those who were actually blasphemers of Lord Chaitanya or of Nimai, they are also weeping in this way and feeling this deep separation, lamenting over their sinful nature and that they didn't recognize the Lord when he was in their presence. And in this way, the Lord is purifying all of them, really giving them this taste of separation. The Chaitanya Bhagavat also says that anyone who hears this pastime breaks the bonds which bind him to the world. So it's so powerful. What's next? Okay. So everyone is lamenting back in Nadia, but the Lord is making his way towards Keshav Bharati. And he crosses the Ganga in one day. And he goes to offer his obeisances to Keshav Bharati. And as instructed, some of his associates join him later. Millions and millions of people come to witness this encounter between Keshav Bharati and Mahaprabhu. And as the associates come, they start to sing and dance and chant in ecstasy. And everyone's in this very ecstatic mood. I want to read a little bit from this section as well. Reading's kind of banned, but it's so much more beautiful than anything I can say. So I can get it up. Okay. Oh yeah. So after a bit of ecstatic kirtan, finally the Lord is asking Keshav Bharati for initiation. And he's in this very, very humble mood, saying, I have no other desire than service to Krishna. Please instruct me accordingly. The Lord's body seemed to float in waves of ecstasy, of ecstatic love. The Lord then began to dance and cry loudly. Everyone is dancing and crying loudly like this. Oh, with unblinking eyes, they all continually drank the exquisite beauty of the Lord's form. The indescribable flow of tears from the Lord's eyes could not be described by even Lord Ananta. As the Lord danced in a circle, his tears bathed everyone who gathered around him. Thus, soaked in the waters of love for God, everyone, man, woman, young and old, all chanted Hari Hari. So they go on like this. And as, there's all these millions and millions of people around him, the women are thinking, knowing he's about to take sannyas, they're lamenting for his mother. Oh, how will his mother and his wife take this? How will they take this separation? Even though they're in the presence of the Lord, they're, these ladies who have just met him, they're like, we've just met him and we're feeling this such deep affection for this personality. I can't imagine the unbearable pain that his wife and his mother are experiencing like this. So the women are actually weeping in this way in his presence. Of course, the Lord needs to shave his head for his initiation. And so, somehow or other it's arranged, there's a barber here to shave him. And the barber, just even looking at his head, he begins to weep. this like very beautiful scene. Some Nitai and others are weeping and saying like, who invented this sannyas system? Why do we have to do this? And so, yeah, eventually somehow or other, even though like his hand's trembling as he's like trying to shave him, the Lord gets shaved in some miraculous way. I don't know the details. The demigods unseen are also weeping. And as we've also heard in previous days, the Lord, for a pastime, receives the sannyas mantra in a dream, and he tells Keshavarati in the ear, he says, "Oh, is this the mantra that you're going to give me?" And he whispers the mantra, and he says, "Oh, yes, this is the most divine, most perfect mantra." And then he repeats it. So in this way, actually, Mahaprabhu's accepting Keshavarati as a disciple because he's giving him this sannyas mantra. But it's unfathomable, actually. So let's see. Did I miss anything? Oh yeah, and I'm kind of skipping around. My notes are kind of squiggly, so please forgive me. But when Mahaprabhu is asking for initiation, Keshav Bharati also says that you are the guru of the universe. How can I initiate you? No one is qualified to be your guru. And the Lord is in such this humble mood of like, don't deceive me. Give me initiation so that I can be a servant of Krishna. And yeah, it's just so beautiful, that exchange of humility, and yeah, it's just very beautiful. So the next morning, Chandrasekhar performs all the rites, and Keshav Bharati is thinking, oh, what name should I give this personality? Bharati is not appropriate. And so he gives him the name, Sri Krishna Chaitanya. And he puts his hand on his chest and gives the name. And from there on, Mahaprabhu continues his sannyas pastimes, spreading mercy in this way. And I think that's it, unless I missed anything. You guys? No. Right. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki.
Magyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Shakshurun Militanyana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. First of all, I offer my humble obeisances to my Diksha Guru Devi Shrimati Shamani Gurudevi, to our parents, Gurudevs, and all the Guru Varga, and all the assembled devotees. So I'm going to talk about the pastimes of the deliverance of Jagai and Madai. So in Nadia, Mahaprabhu, so go back in time, still Mahaprabhu in Nadia, not without sannyas. He one day instructed Nityananda and Haridas Thakur to go door to door, saying this, Bala Krishna, Bhaja Krishna, Kara Krishna Shiksha, meaning chant the names of Krishna, worship Krishna, follow Krishna's instructions. And he said, just go everywhere and without discrimination, just give these instructions. And then at the end of the day, come and tell me what happened. So effectively, Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur immediately ran and started doing this. And the answers from people when they were coming, and they dress as a sannyas. And when they were door to door, people tend to, come and eat and all of this, but they were, no, just chant the names of Krishna, worship Krishna, follow Krishna's instructions. And then they say, Krishna is your life, Krishna is your wealth, Krishna is your very life and soul. Oh, brother, chant the names of Krishna with full attention. Krishna is your father, your mother, and your wealth. So some people, very pious, they were so happy to hear this, and actually they follow instructions. Other people were like, these guys are crazy, and like they are coming here just to make us crazy also, like, no, 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 go away. And others who were rejected before that they were not able to come to inside the Sankirtan at night, they were like, take them, chase them, like beat them. So they had these many, many crazy responses. But they were like, whatever, just laughing and continue door to door because the potency from Lord Chaitanya just made them fearlessness. And then when they were walking and doing this, they found or they saw from the distance that there were two guys, drunk, crazy, people around them was super like feeling so much fear. Nobody wanted to go close to them. So they were like, what's going on here? And then in Chaitanya Bhagavata is beautiful because they say that when they saw Jagai Madai's pathetic condition, the hearts of Nityananda and Haridas began to cry. And Nitai just thought for himself, I know, first of all, he asked about this Jagai Madai. He like, who are these guys? Like, what's going on with them? And people say like, hey, like, they are brahmanas, their families are their parents are very pious and everything, like, but then since they were born, they had really bad association, and then they start to just get drunk, eat meat, go and steal things from people, burn the houses, like, it's crazy. Like, don't go there, like, no, 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 they will kill you. Like, see, sannyas, they kill you. So, but then Nityananda was like, no, no, no. The instruction was clear. And this is a line that I really like, that he say, the Lord's order is for everyone to worship Krishna, but this is especially meant for the most sinful. And Nityananda also thought, if these two can become followers of Krishna, start following and chanting the names, that will be the glory for Lord Chaitanya. And then I finally be able to be, I'll finally be able to say that I am Lord Chaitanya's servant. So he was like, no, we have to do it. So that something that is important to mention here is that they were very sinful. However, the only thing that they didn't do was Vaishnava aparat. And it's described in Chaitanya Bhagavata that they didn't because usually they were surrounded just by drunk people. So they didn't have the chance to really commit that Vaishnava aparat. So for all of that to say that that was something that helped them to be ready to receive the mercy of Nityananda and Haridas. And then basically they tried to approach them, like kind of like close enough for them to be heard, and then they say Jagai Madai, Bala Krishna, Bhaja Krishna, Kara Krishna Shiksha, chant the names of Krishna, worship Krishna, follow Krishna's instructions. And then Jagai Madai just got crazy angry and like, who are you? And then just start chasing Lord Nityananda and Haridas. And then Lord Nityananda and Haridas was like, oh my God, we are going to be killed. And they just run and run and run. And then I recommend to read this because it's such a beautiful conversation. Like, they are just like quarreling, laughing and quarreling at the same time. You see, I told you this was not a good idea. And he was like, but Lord Chaitanya gave us this instruction, and just running like crazy. And then Jagai Madai going behind them. So eventually, when they were more or less close to Lord Chaitanya's place, finally they were able to lose Jagai Madai. But they were so drunk that they were like, they had no idea where they were. And they just stayed like hanging around, and Lord Nityananda Haridas was like, and they came in front of Lord Chaitanya like, these two guys, we found this Jagai Madai. And then they told all the story to Lord Chaitanya. And Haridas was smiling in this conversation with Lord Chaitanya because he says, like, just the fact that Nityananda glanced on them, like, they are already delivered. It's just a matter of, like, time, basically. And then they have these conversations with Lord Chaitanya, and Nityananda told him, one second. Oh, so he say, please, please, fulfill the meaning of your name, Patita Pavana, the deliverer of the fallen souls, deliver these to sinners. And then Vishvambar, Lord Chaitanya, smiled and replied, they were delivered the moment they got your darshan. So it's so beautiful because there is this like, no, 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 you did not, but no, actually you did it. But so it's just like the mercy, how it goes in very different ways is just amazing. So then Jagai Madai spent the night close to Lord Chaitanya's place. When they did the kirtan at night, they were able to hear the kirtan from the distance. And in that drunk and intoxicated state, they thought that, oh, they are actually worshiping, this is a form of Durga. Let me see, what is the name? Here, Mangala Chandi. And so they were dancing like crazy, thinking that that was for Mangala Chandi, but of course was the kirtan for Krishna. So they were just dancing and dancing. So then the next night, Nityananda came again with Haridas to Jagai Madai and again instruct them to chant the names of Krishna, follow Krishna, and following Krishna instructions. But then this time, and Jagai Madai asking like, what is your name? And he say, I didn't took the note of the name, but it's a word that means a saint person. And for some reason, that I was reading and I was trying to find like why, but for some reason they got super angry just hearing the name. And then the Madai took a clay pot, and smashed it on Lord Nityananda's head. So that cut his head, and all the blood started to just run and run and run and flow and flow and flow. However, Lord Nityananda was like not feeling pain and was just thinking about them, like, I just want them to be delivered. But then, and then Madai was getting ready to hit Lord Nityananda again, but Jagai took his hand, stopped him, chastised him, and said, hey, stop. What will you gain by beating an outsider? But what will you gain by beating a sannyasi? Like, stop. But then people who saw this ran to Lord Chaitanya and say, oh my God, look what's going on, Nityananda, the blood and all of this. So Mahaprabhu just ran immediately to the place with other devotees. And then he saw Lord Nityananda's body covered in blood, and he was so angry. So he immediately started to call Chakra. He was like, I'll kill these guys. And Chakra, Chakra, Chakra. So the Chakra arrived, and Jagai Madai saw the Chakra, and they were like just in this astonishment. But then Lord Nityananda, as you can see in the cover of the book, he was like, no, don't kill them, like, please, just take all my pious activities, everything, and just forgive them, like, don't do anything, and just relax, like, I am not in pain, like, don't worry. So, and then Nitya said, actually, Jagai protect me, he didn't let his brother to beat me again. So when Mahaprabhu heard that, he was like, oh, come here, take my mercy, receive all the blessings, Krishna Prem, follow Krishna, like, and he embraced Jagai. And Jagai just faint in ecstasy. And then Madai, by seeing this, he was astonished also, and then his heart melted. And then Madai started to cry to Lord Chaitanya, please, give your mercy unto me. Like, why are you like differentiating between me and my brother? Like, please, just forgive me and give me the mercy also. So I want to read this part because I found it interesting. Lord Chaitanya replied, I do not foresee your deliverance, for you have drawn blood from the body of Nityananda. Madai say, "You cannot say this. Why are you forsaking your duty? Why did you award your lotus feet to the demons that pierce your body with the arrows?" The Lord replied, "Your offense is greater than theirs, because you have drawn blood from the body of Nityananda. The body of Nityananda is superior to mine. I emphatically tell you this truth." So still Madai insisted, "Please, please, just be merciful, please." So then Lord Chaitanya said, "Actually, you have to ask for forgiveness to Lord Nityananda and take his lotus feet and beg for his mercy." So I just wanted to share that when I read this, I was just struck by how amazing that I'm pretty sure that Lord Chaitanya was ready to give his mercy because Nityananda just asked for that. So it's like, yes, of course. However, he instructed Madai to to recognize his mistake and to do the repair himself. It's like God is not just doing everything for us. Like we have to put our part and ask for forgiveness and do like a real intention to change and not do those things again. So Madai had to do that. And he did it, and like he begged to Lord Nityananda for forgiveness and for mercy. And of course, Lord Nityananda wanted to give it, so that he came back to Mahaprabhu, like, "Please, please, just give him mercy. I already forgive him. So please just give him his mercy." And then Nityananda was like, "You already gave it to him." And Nityananda then embraced Madai, and it's described in the book that he got like in the body, inside the body of Madai, and like Madai got energized with all the Nityananda's energy and presence, and he got just totally melted. And after that, they, under the influence of like Sarasvati, or empowered by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nitai, they started to praise Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nitai with beautiful prayers. And then after that, Lord Chaitanya, and then they faint. And Lord Chaitanya was like, "Just take them to my house, to my place. Now they are my associates. Like now they are going to be with us." And inside them, they started the kirtan, and Jagai Madai started again to glorify Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. And devotees say, "Who can understand your inconceivable energies, or when, how, and on whom you bestow your mercy?" They were saying these things, just astonished, seeing the transformation of Jagai Madai. And Mahaprabhu told them, like, "Hey, please forgive them for all their offenses, because now I have taken all the reactions, the sinful reactions for millions of life of sinful activities. So just forgive them, and don't you dare to talk bad about them, because now they are with me, they are my associates." And actually, he said that they are now Mahabhagavatas. So it's so beautiful, like how for Lord Chaitanya was like, "I don't care anymore about your past. The fact is that now you finally accepted my mercy and Lord Nityananda mercy, and now you are chanting the names of Krishna, following Krishna instructions. That's all that matters to be considered a Mahabhagavata." So it's such a mercy. So yeah, and there was a part that I remembered when I was reading this pastime. I was remembering Bhagavad Gita that say, "Don't go and preach to people who are against or has these no good or no open need, don't have opening to hear about Krishna." And actually, Haridas and Nityananda had this conversation about it during the pastime. But then they say, like, we are just following Lord Chaitanya's orders. So it's kind of, for me, it was beautiful to see, like, okay, yeah, we cannot preach directly to them, but the Lord is so merciful that he will find some way or another to make sure that everybody gets the opportunity to receive Krishna mercy. So even if it's not direct preaching, it may be prasad, it may be that somebody was having a kirtan in a place and they were just walking around the block, or maybe they have a book, one of Srila Prabhupada's books in their bookshelf, and they just saw the book, and that can be just the beginning of Sukriti. So that's so beautiful. And then also how even if you commit the offense against a Vaishnava, how Lord Chaitanya entrusts us to recognize your mistake, ask for forgiveness, and then try your everything to not do that again. So, and I'm saying this because I sometimes think like, oh my God, Vaishnava Parad is like the worst thing ever. Like I will be condemned forever. Like, oh, like my back is done. But then Lord Chaitanya remind us that actually even with that you have a chance. Like you are never fully like forever condemned. No, there is always a way, and he's always there to help us. And Nityananda is so merciful also, and he's always like poking into Lord Chaitanya to really like give us mercy. um so yeah, and then Jagai Madai just stay with the Sankirtan movement and part of the associates of Lord Chaitanya. So amazing. Hare Krishna, thank you so much.
Oh. Yeah. Om Gyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. I'm offering unlimited obeisances, Dandavat Pranams, obeisances to the dust of the lotus feet of my worshipful Guru Devi, and to our Param Guru Devs, and similarly to the Rupanuga Guru Varga and all assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. And yeah, so I'm going to be talking about the Keshava Kashmiri pastime with Lord Chaitanya. And yeah, first I'll set the scene. So, it was a full moon night, and the Lord was discussing literary topics with his disciples at the bank of the Ganga. And then we hear that there's this Digvijay coming around. And the Digvijay, that means he's the victor in all directions. He was the ultimate, scholar. And as we just learned today, that was actually Nimbarkacharya who would actually come. Is that correct? Remember, we came. I think that was what Gurudev was making a point that he came back as Keshava Kashmiri, um, and for the sake of this pastime, so he would be defeated and further glorify Lord Chaitanya. But Keshava Kashmiri then arrived at the Ganga as well, and he came there to offer his prayers, and the Lord received him well. But Keshava Kashmiri was very proud, and he responded very haughtily to the Lord. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had offered, his kind of pranams to him, or welcome, so to speak, then Keshava Kashmiri said that, well, I understand you're just a teacher of grammar. And so that sounds like, oh, okay, yeah, he is technically teaching his students grammar, but I guess as the purport in Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila 1631 explains, that typically the way students used to learn back then was like they have 12 years of rigorous Sanskrit study, and that was kind of the way it was, because learning Sanskrit and really understanding that a lot kind of opens up the Vedas to all these students. And so that was kind of like the Brahminical path. And, so basically he was kind of diminishing him with this statement, though, like, oh, you're just a school teacher, you're just like a elementary grammar teacher. I'm a great poet. And so who are you, effectively, was like the message given there. And, so yeah, and then he further kind of accused Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his students of like, you guys are just mere word jugglers. Like, what are you guys? And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu kind of played into his ego a little bit and kind of pumped him up and said, yeah, I can't even impress my own students. They can't even understand me. You're a very learned scholar. I'm only a boy. And so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then asked him, okay, please give us the demonstration of your poetry skill. We want to hear you glorify the Ganga, and we would love to hear that. So Keshava Kashmiri then composed 100 verses within an hour, which is an amazing feat, So clearly, no one is taking away from his skill. And then at the end of that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, there's no greater poet than you in the world. It's so difficult to understand for all except for you and Mother Saraswati. There's actually a sarcastic comment there, because he was saying like, yeah, it's so great that no one even understands what you're saying. You just wrote all this complex thing, It's like, what's the point of it? And so yeah, and we learn that Keshav Kashmir was kind of empowered by Lord Saraswati to make, to be such a great poet. And kind of one of the bigger themes we're seeing here is that, you know, like they say in Gita, like, we think we're the doers, but really it's all the gunas. And if we do have any special ability, special power, it's coming from something higher. It's coming from the Lord. It's not coming from ourselves. Yet Keshava Kashmiri, I mean, well, he didn't forget it, so to speak. He did have an ego, but he thought Saraswati was always going to be there for them, and he thought that she was the be all and end all of his knowledge and the complete source, not looking further beyond that. So, so anyway, he used that power to compose those 100 verses within an hour. And then, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was like, gave him a sarcastic comment. And then, he asked him, oh, can you please explain a verse for us and explain both, like, give us some of the good qualities and give us, like, some of the mistakes you made there. Keshav Kashmir was like, there are no mistakes. Like, this is perfect. What are you talking about? And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that, well, if you allow me, there actually are, some faults here. And like, if we pick out this one verse, and he picked out a verse in the middle of like the 100 verses, which just showed his unbelievable ability to kind of, you could retain everything that was said. And actually it's explained that, in the past, there was a time when our memories were perfect. We could understand everything, remember everything that was said. And that's how, Vedas and everything were transmitted, not just through memory, but things have degraded since. But anyway, he picked out a verse, and then he himself pointed out, the 5 faults. And, in that verse, there were different faults he found. One was like kind of at a high level. He was kind of talking about like, well, this is called like an incorrect ordering of like subject and predicate. Like, you here you're saying like, if you were to say like, oh, the man is good versus the good is the man, that's kind of like an example of like, a mistake that was made. And then he also pointed out that you made some strange comparison between Ganga and Lakshmi that didn't make sense. And then you made some point about like, oh, something like the husband of the wife of Lord Shiva. And that was like, well, are you implying that Shiva's wife has another husband aside from Shiva? And then, he was redundant in another point. He was doing alliteration in a few lines, like the silly snake slithered, but then on the third line, he forgot to continue the alliteration. So that fault was kind of like jarring. And then, so basically, after all that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was making the point that, like, you could have 1,000 beautiful verses, but like one mistake like that ruins the whole thing. And the kind of example he gave is just like, a beautiful body decorated with jewels. But, imagine that beautiful body has one spot of white leprosy. That just ruins, it makes the whole body abominable. Super intense. In the same way, this poem is ruined because of that, leprosy you just, exemplified with that verse. And then, so he said, and actually, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was saying, if we actually consider everything in fine detail, we'd find unlimited faults in your writing. So Keshava Kashmir couldn't believe it. He was like, oh my God, where, and then he was trying to respond then to the points that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had made, but then he was tongue-tied. He couldn't respond. He couldn't come up with anything. And then he realized, oh my God, Mother Saraswati has abandoned me in this moment. I can't even speak. And so all the students were laughing. This guy. Everyone's just laughing at Keshava Kashmiri, completely just embarrassing him. And then, so then basically Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then like told the students that, please stop, don't laugh at him. And then he actually started glorifying him and said, like, actually your poetry is amazing. There's no other poet like you. And actually, if you look at all the poets, like, he mentioned some other like famous poets like Kalidas, all these other poets. He's like, we would find faults in their writing as well. So he was saying that like, if anything, and a point is kind of made in the purport that like, and this is kind of like a greater theme too, that like, what is like faultless, like something that is faultless, which is not even possible, but imagine it's faultless, but a material thing is pointless. Even something with faults, but if it's done in the service of the Lord or glorification of the Lord, then that is where its value is. And that's perfect no matter what, material fault there is in style and this and that. So like, that is kind of like one of the points. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was even kind of pointing out, and like one of the things he was pointing out to Keshava Kashmiri, that actually what makes the Ganga so amazing is that it's coming from the Lord's feet, rather than all these other additional things that you're saying. Like that alone, it's like the real glorification that we should focus on. So anyway, Keshava, he's like, okay, let's all retire, let's all go home. and let's take a break. And tomorrow we can continue. So Keshava Kashmiri goes home, he falls asleep, and then Mother Saraswati comes to him in his dream, and she basically just makes the point that, that's my lord. What can I do? Do you want me to turn against him? So, and she basically kind of informs him that, like, yes, she kind of left him in that moment, and she purposefully kind of induced him to compose the verse in an impure way. It's explained. So, this was meant to be. And then the next morning, Keshav Kashmir realizes, and she explains that, my Lord is the supreme personality of Godhead. So the next morning, Keshav Kashmir comes, surrenders at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus feet, and the Lord then, it's said, bestows mercy upon him and cut off all his bondage to material attachment. And I think, kind of like I was saying, I think kind of the main themes or things that were kind of important, it seemed like here, were what we were even talking about yesterday, that Haridas Prabhu brought up about, like, vidya versus avidya. What is real knowledge? Like, is it actually things like word jugglery or, being the best poet? I mean, all that stuff you can't take with you. And if it's not used in the service of the Lord, it's effectively useless. It's just for your ego. And that no one is the doer. Keshav Kashmiri was empowered by Mother Saraswati. But if you trace that source of power all the way back, we know it's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And that is who we should try to be channeling, I guess. And that all good qualities come from the Lord. It's not coming, from your own power, so to speak. So yeah, I think that was a nice pastime. So thank you.